So, is Charlotte Flair the female Roman Reigns? I'll say it one more time. Is Charlotte Flair the female Roman Reigns? Does that make Becky Lynch the female Daniel Bryan? I'll ask that question one more time. Is Charlotte Flair the female Roman Reigns? I'm saying this because obviously, sorry I didn't do a SummerSlam video. SummerSlam happened, we all know about the whole Becky Lynch turning on Charlotte Flair. In the show, she's a heel. Becky turned on her mate post-match and beat the hell out of her. The thing is though, is that all the fans cheered for Becky Lynch instead of booing Becky, and even chanted at Charlotte, "You deserve it," when she was getting beaten up, and jeered her on her way out, and cheered like Becky Lynch was Steve Austin in the 90s. You know what I mean? It was like, whoa. And I thought about it, and then there's been a lot of discussion around YouTube about, like, the misuse of Becky Lynch and how Charlotte Flair is being used. And one of the themes that has come up is Charlotte Flair now becoming the female Roman Reigns. And I'm seeing it a lot, and I want to talk about this dynamic. Is Charlotte Flair the female Roman Reigns? Is Becky Lynch the female Daniel Bryan, circa 2015? And some people will say, oh, well, it was, it's the people come out with little spins about why this has happened, like, it's just the fans being smart, except for the fact now that this has happened for the last 3 weeks in a row. Then you look at the context of the storyline with Becky Lynch coming back, beating Carmella several times on TV, earning, within the context of the show, a title shot, and then Charlotte Flair just swoops right in, gets inserted into the match, and steals the pin in the SummerSlam match, which the fans really resented. Now I want to say something, and this dates back to a while ago. So I have a friend of mine that I run into. He's not like a regular die-hard wrestling fan like all of us are. He's not as all in as we are, like that. But every time he watches and the topic of Charlotte Flair comes up, it usually goes like this. She debuted. Oh, Ric Flair's daughter. That's cool. A couple months later, he watches again. Oh, she's the champion now. Oh, okay. Stops watching. Starts watching again. Oh, she's the champion still. About a year later. Oh, she's the champion still. And then he's watching Raw. And she's doing an angle with her dad. Oh, she's the champion again. See where this is going? Then he watches again. She's the champion again. And more and more and more, this thing like, she's always got the belt. She's always got the belt. Husey on his channel has said the same thing now. Like, how many times can you give it the title before it becomes like an option that you exhaust? And obviously, as I've speculated on my own channel, if you haven't checked the video afterwards, I firmly believe that Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey may be the main event of WrestleMania. Hence the reason why they're pushing her so hard. Well, they push her hard anyways, because she's into good talent. But hence the reason why, especially this year, you're going to see more and more of it. But the thing is, in my friend's tone in that story I just gave you, bit by bit, you could sense this resentment in his voice. Like, oh, great, she's the champion again. And when he watched SummerSlam, he said afterwards to me, why do they keep putting the belt on her? That was his answer. So there is this thing that's kind of growing. Now, that's just the one occasion that I can give you face to face. Another friend of mine actually said something similar like that too. But then I'm going on the audience reaction, which is like the majority, and they just completely resented seeing Charlotte win the belt again. Now, if Charlotte was a heel, I think it would work, because you can always kind of spin around, well, that's great heel heat that she keeps winning, and rubs it in, because then you can present her as Ric Flair's privileged daughter that gets all these opportunities and blah blah blah. But the thing is, in reality, I think that's how fans are starting to see her, despite the fact that yes, she's a great athlete, she's a great talent, but people are starting to resent her. Now, going back, when WrestleMania happened and she beat Asuka, I noticed a lot of resentment from people that I kind of come across that watch wrestling, like, well, why did she have to beat her for? And I noticed it a lot on Twitter that night. So there's this equity building up where people are starting to get a bit resentful here, there and everywhere. Now you look at Becky Lynch. Now I'll tell you right now, I am a Becky Lynch fan. I think she's great. She's very fiery. I enjoy seeing her. I like Becky Lynch. The thing is, if you look at how they were presented, that Charlotte, Becky, Sasha and Bayley, of the four of them, I need to be really careful what finger I do. Bayley was pushed all right, but now they've kind of wasted her. Charlotte was pushed real hard. God, this is really hard because I don't want to give you the finger. Sasha Banks is kind of up and down, but pushed enough. But the one that I felt that was the most underutilized before the draft was clearly Becky Lynch. So you kind of, in this way, you're building up this equity where we'll root for her because she's kind of overlooked, kind of an underdog in a way, kind of underutilized in a way. So you're kind of creating this thing, whether they intended to or not, where fans are going to start getting behind her. And that's the thing that's happened a lot right in the last couple of years. This is exactly what happened with Daniel Bryan in a lot of ways a few years back, where people started to go, well, he's really good, he's underutilized, company doesn't know what they're doing, well, screw it, we'll root for him. And he was already getting over, but then it escalated because of the way he's being used, or perceptions of the way he was being used, in contrast to who they had as their hand-picked person, Roman Reigns. So it's all building up. When she moved to SmackDown and she was the champion, I sensed a strong reaction from the crowd. I was very happy when she won. She lost it to Alexa Bliss, and then she was kind of like not really in the picture. And it's annoying because actually on paper at that time, outside of Natalya, she was clearly the best female talent on the SmackDown roster. And it was kind of hard for me to buy that Carmella could outdo her, or actually Alexa Bliss, even though I like Alexa Bliss. It was kind of hard to buy, or even the Bellas, to be honest with you. Like, I can't, one's not quite like the other. And that's the thing, you've built this thing up in the fans where they see how good she is, and they feel that she's not getting her just desserts, and now they're starting to resent the company, and they'll resent the hand-picked person. And yes, of course, in that regard, Charlotte Flair is the hand-picked female wrestler, I don't want to say project, in the same vein of Roman Reigns, and now you're starting to notice this resentment. I watched SmackDown today, right, while I was making lunch. I was making spaghetti bolognese with turkey mince, good option, and I see Becky Lynch come out and beat up Charlotte Flair, and like a heel, and the fans ate it up. They absolutely ate it up. They did not boo Becky. They were chanting, yes, they were chanting Becky's name. And Becky came off heelish, and they cheered for her. And they booed and jeered Charlotte. Now, apparently on the reports it says, again, when Charlotte was out there, they were chanting how you deserve it at her. So, it says a lot. So, unfortunately, yes, I'm inclined to agree with the title. And I've explained why. I definitely feel like Charlotte Flair, if she wasn't in danger of being the female Roman Reigns, she is now. And obviously they want to push her because they're grooming her for the WrestleMania top spot. And I think this will be very interesting because they want Becky Lynch, fans, but the company wants Charlotte Flair. The fans want Becky Lynch, but the company wants Charlotte Flair. And they can use that to their advantage, but we know, unfortunately, that Becky may end up falling by the wayside because they want to push Charlotte Flair for that WrestleMania top spot. And when the fans sense that part as well, I think the resentment may potentially get worse. And they need to learn from their past mistakes. Look, what's that saying? Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. They wanted to make Roman Reigns the top star and the top overcoming babyface. Didn't happen. Regardless of how skilled or talented you think he is, it didn't happen. And if they're not careful, the same thing will happen with Charlotte Flair. And she will be perceived in that same way. And in a way, they've created a underground babyface that they don't really want in Becky Lynch. Anyways, I'm out. I'm over-talked. Guys, good to be back. So, let me know. What do you think? Is Charlotte Flair the female Roman Reigns? Do you see Becky Lynch as the female Daniel Bryan? Algorithm. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. Comment down below. Hit the like button and subscribe. Peace, guys.